What the hell are we supposed to use, man? Harsh language?
What up, fellas?
What up?
What's up?
How's everybody doing?
I'm doing good. Just
Allergies been fucking with me, but other than that.
Oh, that sucks.
Same here.
No allergies for me yet, at
Nope.
least.
Mine are starting.
Just wake up leaking fluids in the morning. It's fun.
I don't leak anything. Actually, it leaks into the back of my throat. I have post-nasal drip, and it makes me constantly have to cough and clear my throat, and it's fucking annoying.
Same.
I have
At least
oh,
you
my
got the
lights
drip,
aren't
though.
on. Almost forgot to change my lights, and you motherfuckers didn't even say something.
I did not see, to be honest.
It's fair. Hey, I'm matching your shirt, Marvin. You should be in my setting.
That's true.
I like it. Yeah, no, I have allergies like 100% of the time. I think I have like a dust mite allergy. And no matter how much I fucking dust or clean my shit, it's just constant. But yeah, that's whatever. And it just gets worse and worse as I get older.
Yeah.
No, there's no saving me. Dusty, I got a funny story for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sorry, Marvin, not to exclude you, but you wouldn't get the reference. But I was getting a haircut over the weekend on Friday, and I was shooting the shit with my hairdresser, and I was like, oh, yeah, my birthday recently passed, and she was like, oh, how old are you now? I went 37. She goes, 37? Try not to suck any dick on the way to the parking lot.
What?
And I was like, oh, shit. And I started laughing. She goes, have you ever seen Clerks? I was like, yeah, of course. I love Clerks.
Oh, okay.
She was like, I guess she was like a teen in the 80s. So that was like right around her time. And she was like, oh, you've seen Clerks?
Me, then.
I'm like, yeah, of course. Yeah, she's probably in her like mid to late 50s, I would say. But she's like, oh, you've seen Clerks? I was like, yeah, of course I have. I was like, Kevin Smith is great. He's one of my favorites. I was like, have you seen the sequels? She's like, no, I didn't even know they existed. I was like, okay. She's like, yep.
Oh, wow.
She's like, smoked a lot of pot to that movie. I was like, yeah, I bet.
Yep.
Damn.
That
She's
was
going to be in
funny.
for a treat then.
Yeah, she probably won't
hasn't-
ever watch them, but
Yeah, that's true.
no, but they're great. I don't think she knows that he she doesn't know like Kevin Smith made them or that's love. She just knows of the
She's
movie
not that
Clerks.
deep into it.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
was just
yeah.
smoking weed, trying to get
Yeah.
high.
Yeah, she was just
Watch the
getting
funny
high
movie.
and exactly.
Yeah.
I
Is that old? Clerks is 1994. Damn.
Yep.
Mm.
So that was funny. I thought of you right away. And I couldn't as soon as she said like the inflection on 37, I knew what the joke was. So that made me laugh. How was your guys' weekend?
I don't know if
Oh, it was cool.
weed in yet or not.
No?
I don't know.
Did you guys do anything fun or what?
I went to a food festival.
Oh, what kind of food festival?
It was called the Night Market or something, I think. Didn't go at night though, cause fuck that, and it was cold as fuck.
The night market. That sounds like either a prostitution thing or B, like some sort of vampiric thing.
It was called Foodie Land Night Market. That's what it was. I had some gator. I had some. What else did I have? I had some fucking octopus balls, not like testicles, but like just balls, deep fried balls.
So
of
fried
octopus.
calamari.
It was. I was expecting calamari, but it was more slimy. It wasn't like tempura style. It was like more slimy.
That's interesting, Marvin, considering you're such a picky eater.
I like octopus.
Interesting.
What else did I have there?
As long as it doesn't have white sauce, you're good.
Yeah, can't fuck with the white sauce, especially if it's cold. Ooh, that's double whammy.
What'd you
I could
do
do
this
slightly
weekend,
warm
Dusty?
sauce.
Warm white sauce. All right. Now I'm
Yeah.
picking up and sitting down.
I didn't do a whole lot.
No?
I watched some movies, some shows,
What'd you watch?
a little bit of work. There's a couple movies. What did I just actually went back and watched Road to Perdition.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one in a long time.
Tyler Hoechling's in
Really
that.
good.
Superman. He's the kid.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Surprised the parallels actually to that. I mean, in John Wick,
I mean, it's all based
But
off of
I
Lone
guess-
Wolf and Cub.
yeah, but and then I mean, I guess mob movies aren't really all that dissimilar. There's somebody that's stealing from you or betraying you, and somebody died, and you go on a vengeance killing. spree.
No, but Road to Perdition
I actually
is.
watched a bunch of random shit too this weekend. Sorry,
I
go ahead.
want to know what you watched, but I just want to say, Road to Perdition is a direct adaptation of Lone Wolf and Cub, which is one of the most revered manga series ever. But did you know that was Tyler Hoechling as the kid? I think I mentioned it once before, but
No, I did not.
yeah. So that's Superman from Superman and Lois, who plays his son. But yeah, that movie's fucking great. I love that movie.
Lone Wolf and Cub, you said? I've
Well,
never
no,
heard of this.
that's the manga. The movie that we're talking about is Road to Perdition with Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's I think it takes place in Prohibition era, 1930s. He's a mob.
1931.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks is a mob enforcer, and his son witnesses them whack a guy. So then his boss comes after him, and he's basically protecting his son.
boss's son comes after him.
Yeah.
But,
Huh.
And he protects his son. Which is
It's a great
very
movie.
John Wick-ish.
Sam Mendes movie.
Yeah, it's a very good movie. Might have to be in make Marvin watch.
What made you watch
Oh, yeah,
that?
definitely haven't seen that.
I was thinking about watching A Man Called Otto, but I was feeling like catching up on an old Tom Hanks movie instead, so I watched that.
I think my mother watched that a couple nights ago.
Man Called Otto.
Yeah. I don't
It's
know
on
if
the list.
if she liked it or
I'm gonna
not.
watch it, yeah.
What'd you watch, Marvin?
Oh, man, I watched a lot of random shit.
Really?
Well, first on Saturday, I watched The Godfather, the first one, for no reason at all.
Mm-hmm.
Just watched that.
Love
Just got to
that.
watch that every so
Yeah.
often.
Sometimes you gotta put them
And that was obviously amazing. Then Sunday, was it Sunday? It might have been that night, actually. I watched, no, yeah, it was that night, Saturday night. I watched Thinner. I had never seen Thinner.
Oh, that's Stephen King.
Yeah.
Bad
that
movie.
was all right. It was
Good
so
story.
cheesy.
Yeah, the movie's
Yeah.
bad. One of the many in the
Um,
long string of bad Stephen King adaptations.
Yeah.
because anybody can make one. Baby.
That's the old dollar fucking thing. Yeah. And he was in it, and I was like, oh, okay, he's
Stephen King.
always in his own fucking movies. Yeah.
Yeah. Although
He's
he
like a
wasn't
doctor or
in.
something, or a pharmacist or some random shit.
Wait, was he in the new It movies?
I don't know, actually. That's a
Oh,
good
he was.
question.
He was. He worked at the thrift store when they were adults.
Yeah,
I
he likes
think.
to.
Yeah,
He likes to
he
pull
always
up.
does a little cameo.
And then I told you guys I watched Megan, and that was actually surprisingly decent.
Interesting.
I thought it was gonna be terrible.
Zero
It
interest
was
in
like
that
it's
movie.
like Chucky, but like
Yeah.
more modern tech type
Mhm.
of thing. She's like
Yeah.
an android toy type of thing, and yeah, it was
Right.
all right.
Did you guys
Terrible
finish?
actors in it, but it was a cool story.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have expected much from that. Did you guys finish Mayor of Kingstown?
No, I actually
Yeah.
haven't watched.
Okay. Finale was good.
Is it over?
Yeah,
It's
it's
the
done.
finale. Oh,
Yeah.
An episode.
Was it another 30-minute episode as the finale?
It was like 45 minutes
Oh, that's better.
ish. I'm a little confused. I wanted to ask Dusty about it, but I'll ask him off air so I don't spoil it for you.
Oh yeah. I
Uh,
forgot yesterday was Sunday, so I didn't watch any of the Sunday stuff I usually watch.
It's all right. I caught up on. I'm watching Superman and Lois as they come out, which I didn't really intend to do. Are you watching it yet, Dusty, or no?
Yeah, I watched the first 2 episodes.
Ooh, season's getting deep. I won't. Well, Marvin doesn't care about this, but I'm surprised that they hit Lois with cancer. But I have a feeling
Oh,
I have a feeling it
got
has
cancer?
to do. Yeah, she finds out that she has breast cancer, like a very aggressive form of breast cancer. I have a feeling it's going to play into the overall arc of the season because that criminal that he fought in episode 1 had a brain tumor. So I have a feeling it has something to do with what the bad guy's up to. But yeah, no, just again, how do you make a good Superman story? Well, fucking hit him with human problems. That's it. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
My only gripe with the show is that like every actual villain he fights has like matched abilities, which is a little bit annoying, but whatever. The show still remains to be good. How do you feel about the replacement actor for Jonathan? I
Yeah,
don't
he's
like
fine.
him at all. I don't like
Really?
him.
I'm indifferent.
Okay.
Barely noticed because his character is
Yeah.
largely unnoticeable.
Yeah, but that show continues to be good. I'm caught up on Ted Lasso. This season's good so far.
Yeah, it is.
And this is supposed to be the last one, right? Or like they're kind of up in the air about it.
Correct. They may do like spin-offs or something, but I think like the Ted Lasso story itself will conclude.
I see. Yeah, I could see them doing a show about what's his name. Can't think of his name. The guy with the beard who's always cursing. The mean angry
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm terrible with names. Don't ask me.
Fair.
And
Speaking of shows, I told you guys last week that I was like super excited because Monk got announced that they're making a movie.
Yep.
Well, similarly, I found out one of my other favorite shows, Scrubs, is also getting a reunion film. Bill Lawrence, the creator, who also co-created Ted Lasso, coincidentally, and he created the show Shrinking that you've been telling me to watch. Bill Lawrence said that a movie is like basically all but happening. It's not like actually happening yet, but it's gonna happen. So that's very exciting for me because I love that fucking show. That was with Zach Braff and a bunch of other people. Great show.
Yeah. I remember that show. I don't know if I was really that into it. I just remember it was always on though, like in the middle of the night when I couldn't sleep. So
The reruns, right? Yeah. Well, it's funny because that's how I first got into Monk because the reruns were on late. And also, Monk and Scrubs were always up against each other when it came to awards time, and Monk always won.
Oh, really?
Like the reason Scrubs never won awards was because of Monk. Like those two shows were always like head to head. So yeah, so I'm excited about that for sure. Big fan.
Yeah.
And what else did I watch? Oh, Mandalorian, Dusty. How you feeling about Mandalorian?
I'm enjoying it.
I'm going to talk about it, so sorry, Marvin. It's not a huge spoiler.
Oh, good.
It's not really a huge spoiler, but something cool happened this past episode. They gave what's his name? No. I messaged you about this and you fucking ignored me. So, Marvin, you watched the prequel trilogy, right?
Yeah.
And you understand how ridiculous the character of Jar Jar Binks is, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
course.
Jar Jar was clearly created to sell toys, right?
All right. Yeah. I can see that. Yeah.
And when they realized how massively unpopular he was, they slowly just sort of phased him out of existence to the point where I think he has like one non-speaking scene when he's like a senator, and then like I think in Revenge of the Sith or something like that. But the actor
Still
who
in
played
Clone Wars, I'm pretty sure. I don't think they phased him out of that.
in the show,
Yeah.
I think so, but as a senator and very briefly. I don't think he has like a huge thing. But anyway, the actor Ahmed Best voiced and did the mocap for it, and in fact, I think it was one of the first ever like mocap roles that a movie ever had.
Mm.
But this guy got death threats after that, like super harassment to the point where he's been vocal, like he almost killed himself over it.
Oh. What the fuck?
And I think he was getting hit from like all sides. Like people who were fans of the series hated Jar Jar because he was kind of a joke.
Cruel.
Yes, but also he got a lot of flack for it because Jar Jar is seen as like a racist sort of like, I think like slave like speaking character. So I think that was part of it. But this episode of Mandalorian gave my man fucking Ahmed, they vindicated him because one of the characters, Marvin, in the series, one of the main characters, Grogu, he's Baby Yoda that you've seen pictures of. There's no way you haven't seen him.
He's not Baby Yoda.
I've seen Baby Yoda.
He has a mysterious backstory that they've never actually started to delve into yet, but now they have. And little fucking Grogu has a flashback in this episode, and it turns out he was there during Order 66 when...
Well, yeah, they've hinted at this the entire
They've hinted
time.
at it, but it was never confirmed until now that Grogu was one of the younglings at the Jedi Academy that got attacked by Anakin when Order 66 happened. So they show a flashback scene of him getting taken to safety, and Ahmed Best fucking busts out as a fucking Jedi with like 2 lightsabers, and he's defending Grogu and fighting off fucking what was it, Squadron 505 or the 501, I think it was the hit squad of stormtroopers, and it was really it was really dope, and like it's blowing up on social media and stuff. I'm surprised you hadn't seen it on TikTok.
Nah, I don't go on TikTok unless I'm uploading.
Oh, I thought you do.
Nah.
All right, well, I'll go fuck myself.
It's only you, bud.
Yeah, okay, my ass. Speaking of, did you guys see clips of the fucking hearing?
That hearing.
You didn't?
Which hearing?
They had a congressional hearing where they called forth the CEO of TikTok. And
I heard about it. So I heard something about it.
Because they want to ban... So the government wants to ban TikTok, and they're saying because it's Chinese, right? But it has nothing to do with that.
Yes.
It's pretty clear. In fact, if you look at like records, Google and Facebook, both their lobbying spending like skyrocketed over the last few months. Pretty obvious that they're like, yo, government, we need you to take out TikTok because they're fucking eating our lunch.
Competition, yeah.
We all know TikTok's just like dominating the social media platforms, right? They have like 150 billion users or something. It's crazy. So anyway, it's pretty clear that the government's acting on behalf of their lobby of Facebook and Google. But anyway, so they called the CEO of TikTok to Congress, and they had a hearing, and it's all these fucking like country blumpkin fucking 90-year-old fucking congressmen, and they are just grilling this guy. Bro, you got to look up the clips because it's literally like a South Park episode. That's how unreal it is. This one guy's like, he's like, it says here that he's like, is it true that TikTok can that connect to a Wi-Fi network? And the CEO is like, yes.
Yeah.
So can everything. And the guys, they're all just trying to gotcha him. And he's like, so you're going to tell me that TikTok doesn't track facial records and this stuff? He's like, no. He's like, the only thing we track is for like, you know, if you want to wear like glasses on a filter. And he's like, oh, glasses? You look at eyes? That's creepy. And it's like, okay. And then they're calling this guy Chinese, and like at least 5 different times he had to stop and be like, no, I'm actually Singaporean. And they just keep calling him Chinese.
Oh my God, bro. It's
so fucking cartoonish. So cartoonish.
All these companies collect all your information and do whatever they want with it.
Exactly.
This is a Chinese company. And
well, it's not though.
National security threat.
Their parent company is Chinese. But the CEO was saying, like, we have never been asked for information from the Chinese government, nor have we given any information to the Chinese government. In fact, the CEO was talking about something called Project Texas, where he's looking to move all their, like, security... What's popping? Your phone?
I think that was my mic.
Oh.
But I don't know what was causing it. I saw it lighting up.
Oh, well. And he's talking about how he's trying to move all their, like, cybersecurity stuff to the United States, so the United States could, like, have some sort of control over it. But it's very obvious what their goal is and their intent. And then further, if you look into it even further, the bill, I was talking to Dusty about this earlier, we were messaging back and forth, the bill that they're introducing, where in the bill calls for the ban of TikTok, there is all this shit in it that's like crazy Orwellian cyber surveillance fucking bills. It's basically the Patriot Act on fucking crystal meth. It is insane.
Wow.
Like absolutely insane.
Yeah.
First sentence of it's pretty scary. It allows the secretary to stop transactions. And it goes on to explain all the stuff that it says. It's like interfere with transactions between Americans and foreign nationals or whatever. But yeah, it pretty much gives them unlimited power to tap in and say whatever they want. Is right.
It named China, Iran, Korea, Russia, obviously, and a couple of other places as adversaries, and it's actually crazy.
Foreign adversaries.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's wild. I don't know how we got from Grogu to TikTok. Oh, because I'm surprised you hadn't seen it on TikTok. But yeah,
clips, yeah.
Anyway,
No,
good for
that's
Ahmed
fucking
Best. I'm glad he got a vindicated. I'm glad he got vindicated in a very epic way, defending Grogu. Raises some interesting questions though, Dusty. I'm sure you've noticed, and I don't know if you watched Ryan's Easter eggs video, but this season in particular is doing a lot of heavy lifting to pick up the broken pieces left over by the prequel trilogy and the new trilogy. It's really starting to connect the dots now.
The Bad Batch has been doing a lot of that too.
Yeah, you mentioned that. No, but you had talked about it.
They're coming down it's the cloning storyline is really what they're coming to full head because Ryan, which I have a gripe with him too.
Why?
He did that he did that video about The Walking Dead and The Last of Us and how one was a success and one failed.
I didn't
even watch it because I'm like, this is total clickbait. Like, The Walking Dead has been on television for 15 years. You can't say it fucking failed. Like, that's $1 billion franchise. It did not fail. You like The Last of Us more, but to say The Walking Dead failed is just ludicrous. That's insane to me.
Yeah, I mean, Walking Dead certainly didn't fail.
When I see clickbait titles like that, I don't know. I guess I don't know. Do we make clickbait titles like that?
Sometimes.
Oh yeah.
But they're not clickbait in the sense that sometimes
gotta clickbait at every moment. You can.
Sometimes you got
it.
No, he probably, I haven't watched the video, but he probably means failure in terms of like writing. And we've talked about this. The Walking Dead in that sense is a failure, but monetarily and popularity wise, it's not a failure at all.
No.
Yeah.
Raging success.
Yeah, for sure. Objective.
Except they never got to make those movies with Carl's dad.
Rick.
Yeah, Rick.
But yeah, anyway, so in his video he was pointing out a lot of Easter eggs and stuff about like how they're starting to connect, and what you said is the cloning stuff is really what it boils down to. And I would imagine Grogu is being escorted out over the other younglings, and I'm assuming that's why. And I also have a feeling he's going to end up being Yoda's child. Like, there's no way they're not going to do that.
Right.
Because he has a kid.
I gotta catch up on that shit.
I wouldn't be in any particular rush to do it.
Really?
Yeah. Another thing about Mandalorian 2 this season, they're focusing on a character, Bo-Katan, who she's the former Empress of Mandalore, and she was in the Clone War series that Dusty's a big fan of. And she has like fought to defend Mandalore and failed like multiple times. So this story this season, they're exploring a redemption arc for her as well, it seems like. So part of it kind of relies on the fact that you know who Bo-Katan is and that you have watched the Clone Wars. And we've talked about this, like with Marvel, like it's annoying when for you to enjoy one thing, you have to see another thing at sometimes. Yeah. But
that's one complaint Ryan made that I actually agreed with when he was talking about how when you left off with the Mandalorian, it was like this big
Logic
cliffhanger. No, Ryan Aaron.
Ryan Aaron, the Screen Crush guy.
He does videos on this shit.
Shout out Logic.
Shout out to him. Shout out to Logic too. But he was like, in the Mandalorian, you had this big cliffhanger, and then they resolved it in the Book of Boba Fett. If you never watched it, you wouldn't know. So when Mandalorian starts back up, you think you're on this cliffhanger, but it's already been resolved in another show that if you didn't watch, you have no fucking clue what the fuck's going on or why it happened.
That's right. I actually forgot that Mandalorian season 2 is when Grogu leaves with Luke.
Yes.
And that he goes back to fucking Mando in
Boba Fett.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's pretty stupid. Yeah. Okay, well, whatever.
That's fucked up.
But I think that was the Kathleen Kennedy thing that I was talking about. Like, I think that was her doing. So, I don't know. Anyhow, yeah. Yellow Jackets came out. Dusty and I are going to watch that later. Marvin, you never watched season 1, right?
Nah, I still need to watch season 1.
Yeah.
Too busy watching shit I've already watched a million times.
I want to start Shrinking. I'll probably start that soon. And I just put a couple of movies on my watch list because I hadn't seen them and I wanted to. A Good Person that recently came out. It's a Zach Braff movie. Zach Braff was one of the stars. He was in Scrubs, and
Yeah.
he made a movie years ago called Garden State,
Hmm.
which is like the movie that indie movie fans specifically love. It's like
Oh.
so anytime Zach Braff comes out of the woodwork to direct something, people get all like fucking hyped about. So he's got.
I didn't know he was a director. That's cool.
Yeah. So he's got this movie that just came out. I wanted to watch it. And yeah. That's basically it. Anyway,
He
Dusty.
voiced Chicken Little.
He did
I did
voice
not know
Chicken
that.
Little. Yeah, he did. he did do that. What did I search for? I can't even see. I added something else to my list and I don't remember what it was, but it was another Zach Braff thing. Oh, the movie with fucking all the old guys, not the Bucket List, but the other one like it.
Grumpy Old Men.
No, fucking grumpy old.
Going in Style.
Going in Style. Yeah, he directed that. That was another one I wanted to add to my list. I didn't know he directed that.
Yeah,
Man.
there's a lot of old men in this.
Oh, you've seen it? Or are you talking about Grumpy Old Men?
Talking about Grumpy Old Men.
I've seen Grumpy Old Men, dude. The movie's amazing. And I've seen the second one.
Grumpy Old Men. Oh yeah, I definitely.
That's an
seen
old one.
this.
Not old, like early 2000s.
93.
Oh, then never mind. It's older than I
I was
thought.
fucking born in 93, bro.
Yep. Come on, Marvin.
Banger.
You know this shit is old when the fucking headshot is some black and white shit.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a 95% chance I haven't seen the movie if it has a black and white fucking cast member.
That's fair. I got some confirmation, boys, from a boy Ed. Shout out to Ed.
Nope. Shout out.
He went to the theater, see John Wick. He says it was very good.
Ooh, nice.
He said Donnie
I heard the
Yen was
director's cut
dope.
of that, or the extended cut was like 4 hours or something of that movie.
I don't know, but I'm getting a little bit sick of it because they're like doing a whole John Wick universe. There's all sorts of shit coming out.
Well,
I
I
can't
think-
keep track of
Oh
it.
yeah, the
This was
show,
supposed to be
right?
the conclusion of the John Wick storyline, and then they're going to do some spin-offs, maybe.
Well, apparently there was a character in this movie that's getting a spin-off, so I don't know.
Right.
We'll see, I guess. But yeah, he
I
said
don't
that
know
was
if
pretty
they make
good.
any more John Wick movies, though.
I'm sure they will
It's-
eventually.
It's 2
Depends
hours
on
and
whether or not
49 minutes.
Keanu wants
That's
to do it
good.
again. Because Lionsgate will do it a fucking 100 more times. If
Of course. Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't? Making that money, that funny money.
Yeah, but it did pretty well at the box office.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, Dusty, if you don't know, is an old newsman. He used to work in video game journalism, and now he gathers the news for the Harsh Language podcast. What do you got for us this week, Dusty? Anything good going on out there?
There's a couple of interesting stuff. We'll start with Disney. Some bad news. We are not in a recession. Disney, like many of the other Fortune 500 companies, has announced they're laying off several thousand employees.
Good.
I think 7,000 was the number. They got like 250,000 staffers because they've got their cruise lines and their theme parks and all that. So
Right.
Yep.
they got a lot of people over there, but they're cutting down to tighten up the old belt. So that's
Sure.
those people.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, it does.
And some good news: Liv Tyler coming back to the MCU.
Saw that.
She's going to reprise her role as Betty Ross.
Yep.
She'll be joining Tim Blake Nelson, who is also coming back. He will be the leader. Obviously, Harrison Ford, we talked about, is replacing the late great William Hurt.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's Captain America 4 that she's coming back in.
New World Order.
Yeah.
I saw that earlier
so
today. That's
that's-
pretty interesting. It seems like it has if Thunderbolt Ross is in it, she's in it, the leader's in it. I think what's his name is confirmed for it as well. Banner, Hulk,
Right.
Mark Ruffalo. So I wonder if they're going to cross over into some Hulk territory.
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, pretty obvious
Wouldn't surprise
that
me, yeah.
pretty obvious this is going to, we know the Thunderbolts movie's coming, so this has something to do with that. Pretty obvious we're going to get Red Hulk, I'm assuming. So,
Ooh.
His son's around too. So.
Communist Hulk or
no, he's just actually red. Communist Hulk.
you said New World Order? Hey, I don't know.
Hey,
This is
listen.
gonna spark some shit.
Oh, I'd support it. Yeah.
We got a runtime for Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Saw
2
that
hours,
too.
29 minutes. So
You see what he said about it?
Not bad.
No, what did he say?
Because he posted it on Twitter. A response to somebody. Oh, apparently it disappeared and I can't find it. Well, okay. He just said something along the lines that, like, confirming the runtime, it's true. There was almost no fat to trim, and every character gets his or her chance to shine, yada, yada, yada. Basically, like, it's the movie he wanted to make. There's no fat to it whatsoever.
Wow,
Well, he did
that's
I
impressive.
know, like the last one had like I think 5 mid and end credit scenes, and this is his last movie in the MCU, so it'll be interesting to see what
Yeah.
he's in at the end of the movie for Easter eggs and whatnot.
You know, I'm a little disappointed. I was thinking about this earlier, actually. I know Thor Love and Thunder was met with a lot of divisive opinions.
Yeah.
I liked it mostly. I get the criticisms of it and agree with most of them. But I gotta
Right.
tell you, if this is the last Guardians outing, I'm pretty disappointed that they really didn't fulfill the team up that they sort of promised at the end of Endgame. Like, at the end of Endgame, when Thor goes with the Guardians, like, you assumed there was gonna be some, like, we get to see some stuff of the Guardians working with Thor and, like,
Yeah.
those types of funny interactions. But other than for 5 minutes in the beginning of Love and Thunder, you don't really get anything of them. So that's a little disappointing.
Yeah.
Yep.
It would have been cool to see the funny banter between them, and then if they would have made Thor Love and Thunder like an actual like reimagination of Thor, not just being the joke of the movies.
Right.
That would have been interesting to see, but
Did you
Yeah.
see Love and Thunder, Marvin? I forget.
we reviewed it, so I did.
Oh, we all reviewed it? I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I have bad memory, bro. I'm old. 37. Come on. Give me a break.
Secret Wars hits Disney Plus on June 21st, 2023. We finally got an official date.
Okay, let's go.
I think it was originally set for May, but they bumped it back because they're doing their whole slow things down.
Yep.
Which I think Owen Wilson was on Entertainment Tonight talking about Loki season 2. I think that's coming out at the end of the summer or September. Kevin Feige said it would be out summer this year at Comic-Con last year, so they may have bumped that one back if he's saying September. So
I would
looks like
imagine
they're
so.
slowing the drip down as well as the production of everything. So it looks like all that's still happening.
Okay.
Wait, what was the
And,
date for the release?
June 21st, 2023, coming to Disney Plus. Secret Wars.
Secret Wars or Secret Invasion?
Secret
Wars.
Invasion. No, Secret Invasion.
Secret Wars is the movie, right?
Secret Wars is the movie that's coming like 3 years from now.
That's like the end of Phase 6. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
You typed it out wrong. My bad.
Oh,
You're
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny
Mm.
will have its world premiere at Cannes Film Festival this year.
Interesting.
Yeah, so they're gonna debut it there and see what the critics think, and then hopefully they paid them enough money that they'll give it good reviews and people will go watch it.
Harrison Ford still in it, or he's too
Oh
old?
yeah, this will be
Yeah.
the last.
Is this his last
Indiana
one?
Jones movies, yeah.
Is this his last movie? Because he's
and
fucking old
Spielberg.
as fuck now. He's like what,
I
82?
mean, he just did Shrinking, so I don't know that he's done filmmaking. Who knows?
Hey, speaking of,
he's not one of the Eastwood style guys where he wants to direct and produce. He's an actor. That's what he's always been. You know, he went from
Yeah,
woodworking to acting, and he's just stayed in his lane. He's happy to retire.
I respect that.
Yeah.
he's also still cranky
Mm-hmm.
constantly, which is funny.
Cantankerous.
Yes.
Did you read that interview? I think I sent both of you guys. I think I put it
yeah.
in the group chat. It was a pretty long interview. You had to read, but it was entertaining. It's Harrison being Harrison.
Yeah, he's like the Bob Dylan of movies. Just like fucks with media.
When
But
the last piece of Disney news: the Victoria Alonso front reported last week that it's official that she's leaving. We thought maybe that it was due to her being in charge of MCU FX and running that into the ground. Apparently, that is not the case. She was reportedly fired for producing Argentina 1985, which is a historical drama for Amazon Studios. Now, she went out and did this without their permission, but this is all alleged because lawyers are getting involved and it's getting nasty. So allegedly, she went out and did this movie for Amazon, didn't ask permission. It's against her contract. And Disney was like, okay, well, you've been with us for so long. We'll let that slide, but you can't promote it. And apparently she did not care, promoted it. So they fired her for cause. And now she is countersuing. She's got some big law firm with 5 or 6 names on the door. And
shit.
Already a firm that's already suing Disney for some other contractual firing, I want to say.
Damn.
So that one's getting nasty. But apparently
she is Argentinian, so maybe she had a real connection to this.
Yeah, this was real personal film to her, and so I think that's why she's taking it
so badly
and suing, even though I think Disney is probably legally within their rights to
Which
do it.
film?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Argentina, 1985.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, historical drama. So, yeah, but that's all on the Disney front.
Hey, real quick, speaking of festivals and Stephen King, which we talked about earlier, Stephen King is out there on social media praising this unknown horror movie that we're going to have to watch because it's got his approval. It's a movie called Late Night with the Devil, and it premiered at a film festival. It's David Dastmalchian is in it. You would know him if you saw his face. He was in Ant-Man.
Yeah, that's small shame.
Yeah. And
he was in Suicide Squad, too.
Yes.
Yep.
And this is a live television broadcast in 1977. Goes horribly wrong, unleashing evil into the nation's living rooms. So Stephen King was out there praising this. We're going to have... I couldn't even find a trailer for it. We're going to have to watch it when it's available.
Yeah. I wonder when that drops. Interesting.
Yep. Sorry, go ahead.
It's got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. Probably like 3 people.
Yeah, 20 votes.
Yeah.
Actually, we'll end with this one. So we'll go on to the et cetera. I don't know if we need to make an Apple category. You might have to.
They put out some good shit.
We've got a WB and a Disney category. This is kind of an Apple category. It's Scorsese's The Killers of the Flower Moon story, which centers on an FBI investigation of a series of murders in the Osage people that took place in Oklahoma in the early 1920s and become known as the Reign of Terror after oil was discovered on tribal lands. This is a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, Lily Gladstone, and Jesse Plemons. It has October release theatrically. I think
Brendan Fraser is in this.
October 6th.
What's up, boy?
Worldwide, October 20th. But Apple now plans to spend, it looks like, $1 billion a year.
Oh,
these movies that will be released in theaters because everything they've done so far has been come out on Apple TV or whatever, Apple Plus, I don't know what it's called. But they're now getting into the big movie production game. Looks like they've got a budget of $1 billion a year, which, I mean, that's a lot of money considering
low.
25 million to 50 million budget for a movie that could bring you, a couple $100 million. You could do that over and over.
That iPhone 15 is going to be expensive.
Yeah.
Budget.
So, but yeah, the Scorsese's film comes out theatrically in October. Looks
Hold
like
on.
a pretty good movie.
So they're funding a Scorsese movie is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's coming out.
It looks good.
Get ready. What's it called again?
The Killers of the Flower Moon.
Get ready for another fucking anti-Marvel Scorsese rant. Poor guy's got to hit up every fucking streamer and blames Marvel for it. Like, that's not where the whole industry is at this point.
Yeah. Get with the times, old man.
Yeah, it sounds like.
So I imagine it's going to go to Apple TV after a while.
It'll have who knows how long they'll keep it in theaters? Maybe if it's because
Depends on how
some
well
of
it
the
does, I
companies
guess.
tried this during COVID. They would do they would release it a month or two, or even 3 months after it came out in theaters, or just
Yep.
straight release them both. So I think they have a
Yep.
window of now, like maybe 3 months. Hopefully, they can start kicking them to digital, but we'll see.
I can't believe Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio are in a Scorsese movie. That's crazy.
Yeah, insane.
I
Yeah.
actually can't believe Brendan Fraser is in a fucking Scorsese movie though.
Hey,
That's,
his resurgence, baby. He's back.
that's big. Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be good.
Speaking of Apple, Jessica Chastain will star in a limited Apple TV series called The Savant.
Oh,
This is apparently based on a cosmopolitan story.
I'm somewhat of a savant, Dusty. Did you know that?
Yeah. It's the cosmopolitan story is it possible to stop a mass shooting before it happens? And apparently, Chastain plays the character who is a savant who can see the future somehow and maybe stop mass shootings. I don't know.
Oh, Tucker's going to be talking about this one.
Melissa James Gibson from Anatomy of a Scandal and The Americans is on board as a showrunner now. I don't really recall Anatomy of a Scandal, but The Americans I thought was pretty good for the first couple seasons, and I kind of lost interest. But
I thought about watching that when it came out, and then I never did, and I probably never will. But I've heard it was good.
Yeah, pretty good. It's one of those what if type.
Yeah.
Like The Man in High Castle, stuff like that. Those shows are always kind of interesting until they're not, and then
Right.
It happens. Let's see. Yellow Jackets we talked about doing well. Season finale of the first season had 1.3 million viewers across all platforms, I guess, and
Pretty
season
good.
2 opened at 2 million. Apparently, they didn't have numbers for season 1, episode 1. Why they had them for the final episode of the season, but not the first, I don't know. But big spike. Show's doing really well, so that's good. Looking forward to getting into that one.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
cool.
Ghostbusters Afterlife. We talked last week about how most of the stars were recurring. We did have some more casting. Patton Oswalt and Kumail
I saw that.
Nanjiani are both joining the cast, as well as James Acaster and Emily Lynn.
I love Patton Oswalt so much.
He's played some pretty good roles. He's a pretty good actor. I like him too.
And he's a great comedian.
Yeah.
I wonder who he's playing.
Yeah, I don't know. We still don't know very much about the movie at all, except that it takes place at the firehouse. So
Yep.
there's that. Kurt Sutter's next project. I don't know, Dan. I don't know if you're a big fan of Kurt Sutter. The Abandons. Tapping Game of Thrones star Lena Headey, who played Cersei, as the lead actress. Kurt Sutter did Sons of Anarchy, but did about 100 shows for them, and then he did The Mayans. So that's how he got all his money and clout. And so this is his newest show. Like I said, Lena Headey is starring. It's a show that follows a group of atypical families in 1850s Oregon as they fight against greed, money, and power. People interested in their land and whatnot. So
he was also an
take on
executive.
that where-
He was an executive producer on The Shield, which was like a wildly popular show.
yeah.
But I didn't watch any of his shit.
That's where I
watch
think
that.
he got his start. Was The Shield. That was one of his first
Yeah.
projects.
I never watched the Mayans show. Is that worth the watch? Is that good?
Yeah, I watched the first season and it was just okay. I didn't have any interest after that. I don't even know how many seasons it went to air. I think when I looked at Kurt Sutter's credits, I think it was like 40 episodes, so it went a couple seasons for sure.
You watched
Yeah.
Sons of Anarchy, Marvin?
Oh yeah,
You liked it?
I did.
It was a good show.
Yeah, I did like
James
it.
Taylor.
Never got
Yeah.
into it.
Wow, it was good.
And then in some, I guess, drama-related news, Jonathan Majors. I'm not really going to get into this. This is personal shit. This is a he said, she said kind of deal right now. Jonathan
Yep.
Majors was arrested
Really?
for assault charges and harassment. He was immediately released by the police, but now apparently he's being charged by the DA. Apparently he has video evidence on his phone and eyewitnesses that say that it wasn't him. He didn't do anything. I didn't really look too deep into it, but it affects casting stuff and movie stuff. So,
Yeah.
it seems like it's all kind of small stuff right now, small potatoes, and hopefully it goes away and it's unfounded. But who knows?
Surprised I didn't hear about that. That seems like a big.
Yeah, he
big
was arrested
story.
and immediately released. Like the police department was like, yeah, we don't have anything with him, but the DA decided to charge. I guess is what I recently read. I'm not sure. So
Sure.
we'll have more details on that as it comes to fruition. But I think that happened over the weekend, so it's fairly new.
Interesting.
And then yeah, I guess we'll go on to a little bit of good piece of news, which WB they've been pretty quiet lately, but I decided to look up some news from them, and this is where I found this article.
Muckraking.
Started the conversation, yeah. So imagine, you're a flight stewardess, flight attendant. You spend your hours writing fiction on the plane while you're attending to
Writing fiction, sure, yeah.
Yes, yeah. And you want to get that published. You get rejected by 41 agents, and then what's this guy's name? Shane Salerno comes along from the Story Factory, sells the book to Simon and Schuster, and it becomes a best-selling book. Make a movie deal with Universal for $1.5 million.
What's the movie?
It's called Falling. It's from T.J. Newman. She was an actual flight attendant. Like I said, she wrote the book while working. And after she made that book deal, she wrote another book called Drowning, which was apparently one of the more shopped around books in recent history. WB just paid, like I said, Universal bought the first one for 1.5. WB just paid 1.5 for this one, against $3 million, whatever the fuck that means, for movie rights to the second novel, Drowning, which takes like a plane takes off, crashes into the ocean, and trying to get out, there's an explosion.
Right.
Part of the capsule sinks to a cliff, and the passenger's stuck in there with some air. That's what the book is about, whether or not it gets made or not, whatever. Which I just found it interesting because some of the wording, like 1.5 million against 3 million. I don't know what that means. Like, is it 1.5 million for us to make the movie, and if we don't make it, we owe you 3 million, and you get the rights back, or
probably
just didn't. So I wasn't curious. So I wrote the author. I was like, what the fuck did you mean here? But it also piqued my interest about like some of the best book to movie deals ever. I think Spider-Man is probably the best one. Not necessarily a book, it's a comic, but that was a $10 million deal. The actual book, I think Da Vinci Code was a $6 million deal. 50 Shades was a $5 million deal. Harry Potter, $2 million deal, but that was 1998, so probably $5 million in today's money.
Right.
But yeah, not book deals. Like, they don't, like, if you look at it in chunks, like back in the day, they would pay you $50,000 for rights to your book. And then it got up to like $500,000. And then in the 90s, I think Shane Black, after Lethal Weapon, sold The Last Boy Scout for $1.75 million. And that was one of the biggest in a long time. And they just gone up and up and up for some books. So.
And Stephen King gets $1 for his.
Yeah, shout out to T.J. Newman, flight attendant, just up there grinding in the air, and now she's a millionaire because she wrote a couple fiction books and actually got them sold. They were best-selling, and now she got movie deals.
Yeah, that's a cool
fire.
It's a cool story for sure. And don't discount the Mr. Quentin Tarantino, who wrote True Romance while working at a video store and living out of his car.
Yep.
Wow.
Some of the best stuff. Which apparently her book, T.J. Newman
doesn't explain the hard R's, but hey.
I was just gonna say that man grinded day and night to make a career saying the N-word.
He sure did.
It's funny. It's funny enough. I just saw an interview with what's his name, Samuel L. Jackson. It was one of those round table things that's on YouTube now, where like actor on actor or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy asked him, he's like, "Do you just say yes to every Quentin Tarantino movie now at this point when he calls you?" He's like, "Yeah, it's fucking Quentin Tarantino." And he's like, "When I read the script," he's like, "I didn't even read the script for fucking Django." He's like, he asked me if I wanted to be in it. He wrote me a part. He's like, and I just said yes immediately. And he's like, I don't know. It was just funny.
Yeah.
Like, even because his character in that movie, he was like basically a black slave owner in a sense. So
yeah,
I don't know. Just funny.
He's a house slave.
A house slave, but he was the one like controlling everything. He was
Yeah.
calling all the shots, basically.
Yeah, he was. Yep.
Fucking mastermind villain in that shit. Anyhow,
So that's
What
it
else?
for the news.
that's it for the news. All right, Dusty, thanks for giving us the news. Appreciate you.
No problem.
Did you get a response from the journalist that you
No,
reached out
I
to?
was reading the article late this afternoon.
I see.
So I was trying to find, like I said, news for WB has been relatively quiet. So I was looking, and that article came up, and I was like, it's a book deal. May never even get made. Who knows? Who cares? But
Right.
kind of a feel-good story for TJ Newman. She's
Sure.
now a millionaire. But
Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah, that's dope.
yeah, so I let's see. I emailed him from our.
It's great for
I
like
saw
the.
some news about. Go ahead.
No,
No response.
what were you gonna say?
I saw news about some more Yellowstone stuff.
Oh,
It's getting pushed back, the filming, because of our boy John Dutton.
yeah, he's causing problems.
Mhm.
He's causing
Hold
some
on.
filming
I haven't
some
seen
filming
anything.
issues. Yeah.
I know he's doing his own film, and that was some of the concern for the delays. And he was trying to shoot two things at once,
I found the
or
quote.
limit his shooting.
I found the quote from
Yeah.
James Gunn, by the way. Somebody tweeted at him and says, James, is it true that Guardians Volume 3 will be 2 hours and 29 minutes? To which James Gunn replied, it's around that long, although that's not yet exact. And I promise not a second is wasted. There's no fat. It was necessary to experience the full arc for every major Guardians character, not only for this film, but for the trilogy. Or, I should say, trilogy plus. So I guess meaning the Christmas special and all that.
Mm.
He has also
Cool.
changed his Twitter banner to various illustrations of Superman. So he's getting real into the role that
writing
he's
and
created for
imagining.
himself.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's cool. But yeah, thanks again for the news, Dusty. Let's move on to the review of the day. And that is for the film Cocaine Bear. And Dusty just randomly sent us this trailer like a couple weeks back in our
I
Discord.
thought it was a joke, like a
And our
fucking sci-fi movie or some shit.
And
I
when
was stoked about this movie.
when Dusty sent the trailer for it, I gave a nice little exhale and rolled my eyes. And after watching
Yep.
the movie, I got to say my eyeballs are now stuck in the back of my head from the rolling. Yeah, I wasn't expecting much, but somehow I actually got less than what I
Really?
was. Yeah, than what I was
wasn't
expecting.
let down with this. It
So-
was funny. It's some funny parts. The
Mm.
plot was obviously nothing special at all.
I'll
But
just
Well, they
agree
I
tried
thought
to
it was
make
funny.
a movie about a vaguely true story.
yeah.
Yeah. So this Cocaine Bear is directed by Elizabeth Banks. I'm pretty sure this is her directorial
Sophomoric.
debut.
Yeah, pretty sure. It's
Um,
sophomore.
Oh, she's directed a film before?
I believe so. Yeah.
Let's find out. Let's refer to the old
Internet.
IMDb. Oh, she
Angels?
directed Charlie's Angels, Pitch Perfect. Okay, so she's done a couple movies.
I ain't seen this recent Charlie Angels. I don't know nothing about that shit. All I know is the old Charlie Angels.
Yeah, I think Pitch Perfect 2 was her like sole direction, because she did some stuff in 43, but everybody did.
Yeah. So she's
Yes,
she's a hilarious actor. She's been in some
Mhm.
great comedies. So you would think that, this is in her wheelhouse. It was written by Jimmy Warden. Not familiar with his work at all. I think he did the Babysitter movies that were like, yeah, he did those Babysitter movies that are on Netflix that are like comedy horror films. I've never seen them. And we got a bunch of people in this movie. Keri Russell, Alden Ehrenreich, who he was in, he played obviously Han Solo in the Solo movie, but he was also in Hail Caesar,
Oh.
which he was great in. He's a great actor. We got O'Shea Jackson Jr., who is the literal clone of his father, Ice
Yep.
Cube. Like, looks, acts, sounds, behaves just exactly like his dad. So that's funny. I believe this was Ray Liotta's last role that he shot. It was either this or Blackbird, which is a show that I highly recommended that neither of you have watched yet.
I watched
Forgot
Blackbird
about it.
before you. Don't give me that bullshit, Dan. I told you to watch it.
Did you? I thought somebody else recommended it.
100%.
Dan,
All right.
Dan
I
is a
apologize.
known forgetter and also
37.
known credit stealer. So
37.
watch out for that, Coda.
All right, Blackbird was great.
37.
One of these, it was either
It was
this,
great.
it was either this or Blackbird was his last role. Isiah Whitlock Jr. is in this. Margo Martindale, she's in a lot of comedies. She's a funny gal. And then a bunch of other random people that I've never heard of or seen before.
There is one guy you should recognize since you're a known TikTok user as well.
Scott Seiss, he's
Yes.
a fucking random TikTok. And Matthew Rise is in this as well. He actually plays Perry Mason in the show that I
Oh shit, that is
have been talking about. I don't even know who he was in this movie, to be honest, or where he showed up. I'm just noticing him in the credits now. But yeah,
Did you call out the guy from The Wire, the black dude?
Isiah Whitlock Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah, the top.
Shit. That's him.
Shit.
Clay Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as Dusty mentioned, this is loosely based off of a real event in the 80s. That little news reel in the beginning of the film is real news stories of a bunch of drugs that were apparently thrown out of a plane by a guy who didn't pull his parachute correctly and died. And cocaine was found all over Tennessee, and a bear got his hands on some and OD'd. And that is a real
Poor bear.
story. The bear is
Was it a
stuffed.
black bear?
I think so.
Yeah. It's on
The bear-
display at a
The
museum.
bear is stuffed, you said? Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
The bear is stuffed and on display. And
Kentucky.
and yeah, so that's
Most
pretty
famous wild animals are killed and stuffed. Like the lions from the Ghost in the Darkness, I think, are stuffed in a museum somewhere too.
Here's
that's
an article. It says the cocaine bear was found dead in the woods after eating roughly $15 million worth of coke from a duffel bag.
yeah, he partied a little
Holy
too hard,
Shit.
and he
Heart exploded.
earned the title Pablo Escobar and Cokie the Bear,
Oh my God, that was a great.
which it's actually kind of sad because he
is
probably
sad.
went out in like a horrifying, like painful way.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
So yeah, so this movie's loosely based off of that.
It
That's
was
like,
euphoric for a little bit.
yeah, maybe that was the
Here's a
plot of
little
the
bit
film.
more. Here's a little bit more from a quote from an article. Its stomach was literally packed to the brim with cocaine. There isn't a mammal on the planet that could survive that. And then it lists like all the shit that the bear went through to die. And I don't really want to list that, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's definitely
it
wasn't
definitely
good.
was a painful death.
But that's the plot of the movie, and basically, there's like a whole bunch of people that converge on this like woodland area where the bear's on a rampage. It's a bunch of cops, criminals, tourists, fucking
It's a film of
teenagers.
happenstance.
Yeah.
The people involved in what happens around the bear.
Yeah, not even gonna waste our time or the audience's time and talk about like anything that went on in this movie character wise, because none of it mattered or was anything really. Movie spent 45 minutes. Like the first 45 minutes of this movie were fucking boring and
30
terrible.
minutes, I almost turned it off and said, okay, I'll just
Me too.
just wing it.
Me
I was
too.
about to wing this shit, but
I was gonna
thugged it
too.
out.
So did I. They were gonna. They were sitting there building up these little backstories for characters. Keri Russell's
So
like
pointless.
dating
God.
a guy and like introducing him to her daughter, and fucking Alden Ehrenreich and fucking O'Shea
So
Jackson Jr.
pointless.
were like working for Ray Liotta, who was like in charge of like this drug operation, and Isiah Whitlock is a cop, and Margo
The guy
Martindale
lost his wife, right?
Yeah, none of
Ray
it
Liotta's
mattered.
Son,
Yeah, none of it mattered. None of it went
crying.
anywhere. It was just everything served to like the whole purpose of like just being there for comedy, really, and to get slaughtered by the bear. Essentially, this movie sacrificed a lot.
It felt like
to-
an early 2000s comedy, like a fucking like Harold
Nah.
and Kumar go
Nah.
to get the bear with the cocaine.
Nah,
That's
it
what it
didn't.
felt like to me.
No.
Dude, where's my car?
It didn't feel anything like that, and I'll explain why. Because This movie like sacrificed literally everything for the joke, which was the bear doing cocaine. Like, haha, this is a bear doing
The bear
cocaine.
was doing his lines, bro. Oh my god.
Yeah.
How did you guys feel about the CGI of the bear?
I mean, it was bad, but it's not even worth talking about because they clearly did it on purpose to like scale up the ridiculousness of it, right? It was like for sure done on purpose, and probably they obviously I'm sure they didn't have like a huge budget, but like
yeah, actually,
It wasn't that bad, but it wasn't great either.
yeah. So this, I mean, they were
was it
trying
better than She-Hulk though?
Estimated budget $35 million.
Hey, that's some change right there.
Good lord, half of that probably went to fucking
Ray Liotta, was half of that.
and Keri Russell.
It grossed $80 million.
Oh
Yeah.
god, dude.
Yeah. So yeah, this
Good enough for a
was
sequel. Then there were
This
news
is-
stories coming out about
Good
it,
enough
like
for
a
a
panther
sequel.
that got into some cocaine or something, and they're like, oh, it's going to be Cocaine Bear sequel.
this is what you would consider like a ridiculous comedy. And there's a lot of those out there, and I'm big fans of them. And just to name off a few, you mentioned Harold and Kumar, ridiculous comedy, but it's a smart, funny movie. Dude, Where's My Car? Ridiculous comedy, also very funny. And then, you know, there's movies like Wet Hot American Summer.
Subjective, but sure.
What's funny is subjective, yes, but there are things that are objectively smart, like Wet Hot American Summer, which I'm about to get into. I don't know if either of you have seen that. Very hilarious movie, super cult classic. Elizabeth Banks was in it. So if anybody should be able to fucking nail that like very specific humor, it's her. But nothing in this movie was funny to me. Not a second of this movie was
that's
funny.
cap.
It got one chuckle out of me, and that was when the bear like laid down on Alden Ehrenreich's character.
Oh yeah.
That was the only moment where his feet were sticking out and whatever. I got a little bit of a chuckle. The rest of this movie, I was bored to fucking
Bro.
tears. I could not wait for this movie to end.
Really?
Couldn't wait.
I actually thought
Couldn't
it had
wait.
some really funny parts.
No.
You didn't laugh when the ranger fucking blew the guy's head off by mistake trying to shoot the bear?
Nope. I almost laughed
That shit
when
was so funny.
I almost laughed when she went flying out of the ambulance and like her face
Oh
dragged
my
again.
god. Yeah.
But I didn't quite laugh. I almost did, but didn't. The only time I laughed was when the bear laid down on the guy. But yeah, I thought for the first 40 minutes, like it's just boring bullshit fucking backstory with nothing going on. And then I was like, all right, maybe when the bear starts like slaughtering people, it'll get better. And it like, I don't know, it just didn't. And this is a comedy thriller, right? But let's face it, it's like in the realm of like comedy horror. And again, there are a lot of comedy horror movies that are fucking really good. Namely, one of my favorite movies is Tucker and Dale versus Evil. I know Dusty's seen it. I don't know if you've seen it, Marvin.
I have not.
A smart, hilarious parody of like a horror movie.
Yeah.
There is like the Happy Death Day movies. The movie that Dusty and I watched with Vince Vaughn, where he swaps bodies with the teenager he's chasing. Freaky Friday or whatever. No, that's the one with fucking Freaky Friday's the one with Jamie Lee Curtis. It's just Freaky.
Oh my god.
Just freaky.
Yeah, another hilarious, smart, like comedy horror movie. Like the genre can be done and done well. This movie just didn't do it at all. Like I can't. This is one of my least favorite of the movies we've watched. I think I like this worse than the
Crimes Against the Future or whatever.
Yeah, this is the bottom of the barrel for me. I hated this more than I even hated that fucking Australian fucking horseback movie that Dusty made us watch.
Oh, now you're just being mean.
No, I really did. I'm being good. This was worse than that. I did not enjoy this at all. I just found it boring and I didn't laugh. I just didn't care about anything. It was just all about the bear. And when the bear was like doing shit, it like didn't even like affect me in any way. Like, yeah, sure. Yeah. Some of the kills were like kind of cool and gory and this and that. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
But I don't know. For the most part, it went nowhere. And by the end of the movie, when they just try to resolve like some of these stories that you're just like, I don't even know these characters' names. Like, I don't give a fuck what's going on with them.
All I know is Henry.
Oh my god, Henry, the kid who. The kid who played
yeah.
the kid who played Henry was actually pretty good. He had some pretty good comedic timing, but I still didn't laugh
Yeah.
because the shit that was written for him was just awful. That's my main takeaway, is that this is just a not very, it just wasn't funny. There was nothing really fun. Like, and it seemed to try too hard because it was trying to be a ridiculous movie like, you know, Wet Hot American Summer or Step Brothers, or these movies that are so far out of the realm of reality that you sit there and you're like, okay, I get that this is meant to be like a super ridiculous film.
Yeah.
But then at that point you expect to laugh and be in on the joke, but I just didn't. And honestly, the reason I thought that this was her first film is like the directing was pretty amateurish as well. Like this movie was an hour and a half, but
maybe
it felt,
that's why it reminded me of like an early 2000s
maybe, I don't know. Movie was an hour and a half. It felt like it went on. This felt like a 2.5 hour movie because the pacing was fucking terrible. They do these like cutaways and like flashbacks that like contribute nothing to anything going on. They weren't funny. They just like, I just really don't even know what this, like, I don't know what this was. I don't know what I was supposed to take away from it. I don't know why it was made. I don't know anything about it. You guys go ahead. I'm done.
I agree that it didn't go anywhere. I don't think it wasn't like anything deep like that. Like they were just trying to, like Dusty said, loosely based on something that happened, and they tried to make it funny. I thought they made it funny.
Let me be fair. Well, not be fair. Let me say I didn't expect this to be like some sort of fucking like Coen Brothers movie or anything like that. I knew it was going to be ridiculous and a comedy, but the fact is that I didn't find it funny at all. Like I didn't laugh ever,
Yeah.
except that, like, again, I got one little chuckle when he was like saying funny things from underneath the bear. That was it.
Okay.
Have you watched any of the Sharknado movies?
No, and I never will.
This felt a little bit like Sharknado, like one of the middle movies. Like in the first Sharknado, like they tried to take it seriously, even though it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And at the end of the Sharknado movies, it's just total all-out cheese. Like they're riding dinosaurs and shit. It's ridiculous.
Mhm.
Somewhere in the middle, you know, they went from trying to take it seriously to taking it less seriously, where it's like it's kind of a mix of both, and it really just doesn't work. That's what this kind of felt like to me. Is they weren't sure whether they should try and take it seriously or try and not, because it seems like they tried to do both, but it just didn't work. It pulled the movie apart.
I actually felt that exact thing about the characters, because obviously the bear was the central focus of the film, and they had some characters that were just like outwardly just ridiculous and like essentially cartoon characters. And then they had characters, like you just said, like they didn't know what they wanted them to be, and they have like more serious stories like Keri Russell's, and it's just like, well, like what is this movie supposed to be? And I point the reason I'm borderline offended by this movie is because there are other movies that do these things, these like slapstick, like ridiculous comedy, thriller, horror mashups that are really fucking good. Tucker and Dale versus Evil is, again, I think the best example of that, because it takes all these like horror movie tropes and makes a genuinely funny fucking movie out of them, while also making like a pretty good horror movie at the same time. And this is what I think this wanted to be. I think they wanted to make a parody of these B horror movies from the 70s and 80s. We've talked about B horror a lot, Marvin, here on the show. Mm-hmm. Sorry, 60s and 70s, not 70s and 80s. But these at a point in those two decades, there were a lot of B horror movies that were about like killer animals. There was, you had movies about bees and slugs and frogs and fucking alligators and birds and all sorts of shit. Well, birds is different because that's Alfred Hitchcock and that's brilliant. But there were other killer bird movies. But anyway, and one movie in particular, when I make the video for this, I'm gonna cut the trailer into, because you'll see it. There's a movie called Grizzly from the 70s, and I'm pretty sure they were trying to like parody those types of films. But again, if you're making a parody, it has to be funny. And I just didn't find this funny. I think that was the movie's biggest flaw, really, is what it was for me.
Yeah.
So Dusty,
I can see how you don't like it if you didn't find it funny, but I found it funny, so it was tolerable.
So you laughed.
It wasn't amazing, but I was laughing throughout the movie. Yes, I was.
That's interesting.
But definitely after that bullshit backstory, the first half hour that they gave us, yeah.
Yeah.
Because after that, it's just bear shenanigans, and people are like,
Yep.
"What are you talking about? What'd you do to the bear?" They're like, "Kid's like nothing. He's up in the tree," and the guy climbs up the tree. He's like, "Okay, I think there's something wrong with that bear." It was
Like,
funny.
I almost want to say like that the movie tried too hard to be funny, but
It does a little bit.
I feel like that's part of the genre that they were going for. Like Step Brothers is a movie you could say like tries too hard to be funny, but Step Brothers is fucking funny. That's the thing. It's like, I don't know. I didn't find it funny, and I don't know why, but yeah, I don't know. That's it. Couldn't wait for this movie to end. I was shocked that it was an hour and 40 minutes because it felt like it was 2.5 hours. The pacing was so fucking bad.
Yeah,
and
I mean, I have like 3 levels of movie watching. When I'm watching a movie at home, it's I'm so enthralled that nothing's going to distract me. I'm going to get through this.
Mhm.
Or I'm going to pause this because I want to do something or need to do something real quick. I'll be right back.
Yep.
And then number 3 is, all right, I'm just going to leave this running. I'm going to go do something real quick. I might be back in 2 or 3 minutes. I don't know if I'm doing something, but who really cares? Like,
Yeah.
I did that once or twice where I was away from the screen for a minute or two, and I didn't really. I was like, I could pause it, but I kind of know what's going on here, so yeah. So I can see like it's not a like, oh, this is a must recommend, but there's some fun stuff in it. I think it was a fun watch. I'm not going to say don't watch this film. It wasn't great, but it wasn't. I don't think it was terrible.
I don't think it was terrible. I think you should watch it once. I would probably never watch it again.
Yeah.
Um,
Not worth a rewatch.
I think you should watch it once. It was funny.
Yeah, I do not share the same thing. I would never watch this again. I wouldn't recommend anybody watches this. This was a waste of my time. It was an hour and 30 minutes. I'll never get back. And I should have went with my gut instinct when we fucking decided to put it on the list when we were planning the month of March. I should have vetoed it because I fucking knew it was going to be bad. Okay.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
You didn't like the dog story arc?
I did what? What story arc? I didn't even understand it.
The dog.
Did you?
Bob wanted a dog. He got the wrong dog.
He got the wrong dog.
Complaining. And he
And then
learned
he
to love
loved
the
it.
dog. Yeah. And then he had to give the dog away. And then he died. And the dog got to be with,
Wow, that's super compelling. Eddie,
The one that lost his wife.
Eddie.
the one who lost
Right.
his wife and
He
got the
got-
wrong tattoo.
Yeah, now he's now somebody's going to kill his dog and he's going to go John Wick on him. That's part 2.
Yeah, that
That's
was
it.
super hilarious. I don't know what was funny. Like, there was nothing. Even Margo Martindale wasn't funny in this, and she is like
No,
always
she
funny
actually
and shit.
wasn't. She was kind of annoying.
Who was that?
She was the park ranger.
She was the ranger, yeah.
She was funny. She blew the fucking guy's head off trying to shoot
That
the
was
bear.
funny, but that was
That's
like,
not
actually
funny. What was funny about
That
that?
is funny.
That wasn't-
You knew it
I don't-
was gonna
I don't think
happen.
that was like,
Fucking
oh,
missed.
she's funny. Yeah. Well,
But you knew it was going to
the dude,
happen.
He
I
stood
didn't know
right
it
in
was
front
gonna
of her and
happen.
said,
She
"That's
just
a
missed.
bear."
It was fucking hilarious.
Well, he kind of also he was so shocked that it was a bear. He kind of leaned his head right. in
Oh
front of
my
her, too.
god!
It was a little bit of both.
And the fact that they were like, one person thought the black guy was coming. The group of teens thought the black guy was coming back, and she thought the bear was at the door, and they were expecting 2 different fucking people to be
Yeah.
at the door. That shit was funny.
Mhm.
That shit was funny.
All right. I can't agree. But it's I don't know. This came out in theaters, huh? And you said it opened pretty strong.
Yeah, it was been on. I don't know how long it was in theaters, but 80 million is what it grossed globally. So I think did better in the U.S.
Got some money. Hey, that's good.
globally, but
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. A movie like this could either be terrible or brilliant, and it was terrible. So
They made money on the screens.
that's my humble opinion.
A sophomore directing debut. Usually your first one gets you your second, but your second one will determine whether or not you get any more. Of course, Elizabeth Banks, she's been in the scene for a while, so I'd imagine she'll get another shot at something.
I'm not blaming her. She's a funny person. I'm actually shocked that the movie wasn't funnier than it was, and I can only blame a writer for that. I I can't
That's
speak for
true.
Jimmy Warden because I haven't watched the Babysitter movies, but yeah, I don't know. Didn't do it for me, but it's got a 6.1 on IMDb, which is pretty fucking low, which means it didn't really do it for a lot of people. Yeah, I'm going lower. I'm giving this shit a 5.
Whoa.
Actually, honestly, I'm going even lower than that. This was like a 3 for me. This was like a 3. No, really, I'm being dead serious.
No fucking way, bro.
3 out of 10.
Yep. The only thing that
That's
like
crazy.
the only thing that keeps this from being like a straight 0 is that some of the kills were kind of cool.
Yeah, the kills were cool.
So I'm giving it a 3. Marvin?
I'm giving this. What did it get? A 6?
6.1.
Yeah, I'll probably give this a 6.
Okay. Dusty?
I'm gonna give it a 5.5.
Ooh. I think this is like the lowest movie we've reviewed here.
This is definitely the lowest, bro. Just yeah.
You know, of
Our
course.
lowest before this was like Crimes.
Yeah.
And then yeah.
I mean, but at least with Crimes, like you go into that expecting something because you're familiar with the director, like you know he's a psychopath and like, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess shout out to Ray Liotta, rest in peace, poor guy.
Rest in peace.
Apparently he gave some sort of really emotional speech on his last day of shooting this, I read, and it like left a lot of the crew in tears or something. I don't know. It's after he died, so maybe that's a lie. And you know what sucks is that I really like O'Shea Jackson Jr. I think he's hilarious. He's been in a couple movies that I've seen him in, and he's always funny in them. So, yeah, I don't know what happened here, but not for me.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
I don't know why they gave him that fucked up afro in the fucking in this movie.
They should have
gave him
gave
a
it was
haircut, at least.
this was in the 80s. They should have gave him his fucking dad's like Jerry curl fucking
Yeah,
like
something, bro.
what was his hairstyle in the 80s? He had like this Jerry curl.
He had a Jerry curl. Yeah.
But it was also kind of like a mullet. It was like a Jerry curled mullet. It was weird.
I think.
Poor man had a bad day. He started off getting some shit on his kicks,
Yeah.
blood on his jersey. Then he had to use his jersey to wrap up his fucking fingerless hand.
That's why I don't think the movie was like what that joke is not funny. Like this, oh, my favorite jersey, I got stabbed in his blood. Oh, my fingers got blown off and I got to get more blood on my jersey. It's like that's not funny. That's just not funny to me. I don't know. Anyway.
Saving the fingers in the pocket. You save those for me? Yeah, I got them.
Yeah.
I thought Alden Ehrenreich was the funniest part of this movie.
I thought the little kid,
He was more annoying than funny,
the
but
little
he
coked out kid.
had
the one that
comedic
was
timing.
with them for the most part. He was
Henry.
No, not Henry.
Oh, the
Not him.
teenager kid?
The teenager that was with them for a long time. Like when he told them to play dead and he just fucking drops dead.
Yeah,
That
he
was
was,
funny.
he was all right. He was all right. Yeah. I don't know. That's all I got to say about that. So unless you guys
You
got
just didn't
anything
want to
else,
laugh. You
wrap
just
it
went
up.
in and you didn't want to laugh. That's
Marvin,
all it was.
Marvin, I love laughing.
Yeah,
I love to laugh. I love
himself.
I love comedies. I love ridiculous comedies. I love horror. I love when those two come
Allegedly.
together.
That's true.
It
That's
just
true. Allegedly.
just didn't do a good job for me. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm sorry. But yeah, that's gonna do it for us here, folks. Let us know what you thought of Cocaine Bear. If you've seen it, if you haven't seen it, keep it that way. Don't waste your time as far as my position goes. But we'll see you next week, folks, for another episode. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.
See ya.
Austin.